Together, we can save lives. With incredible partners like you, Phoenix Rescue Mission is able to provide life-saving water and critical care to our neighbors in need. Join us this summer and make a difference. Learn more at phoenixrescuemission.org/code red.
At Nationwide Vision, we help you step into every moment clearly and confidently. From quality eyewear and comfortable contact lenses to comprehensive exams and professional fittings, we make finding your focus a more enjoyable experience than ever. Right now, buy one pair of glasses and get the second one free, so you can live bolder, look sharper, and see better. Schedule an appointment today to find your focus.
At Sprouts, you'll find healthy around every corner and tasty on every shelf. And you know what's even more delicious? With our new Sprouts Rewards, you can earn points, explore member-only perks and personalized offers, and enjoy savings. Download the Sprouts app to join today.
Right now at Mark Kia in Scottsdale, receive a 0% APR for up to 72 months on a brand new 2025 Kia Niro EV. 0%. Or you can take advantage of $12,500 in current cash incentives on the 2025 Kia EV6 and 2026 EV9.
Take advantage of this offer on our electric vehicles while we have a great selection and before these offers expire later this year.
The name to remember, Mark Kia, Mark Kia. Finance. Not all qualify. Offer expires September 2nd, 2025.
We finally switched to T-Mobile because with them, we can be connected here and there.
¡Listos todos! Estas son las mañanitas.
Now we just need to harmonize.
Switch today. Get 4 Samsung Galaxy S25 phones with Galaxy AI. Plus, get 4 lines for just $25 per line. Visit a store, T-Mobile.com, or call 1-800-T-Mobile. 1-800-T-Mobile. For well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes and fees and $35 per line connection charge. Minimum 4 lines on plan. Contact us if canceling lines. Plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. Visit T-Mobile.com.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe, Phoenix. And KSLX HD2 Scottsdale, Phoenix. It's the lunch break.
Another week gets started here on the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert with you for the next 2 hours. Producer Evan, he's behind the glass taking your phone calls. 480-864-1060. Your way to join us here today on the program. We've also got you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. Good to be back. Missed everybody on Friday. Was not the plan for us to not be here doing a show on Friday. Got in my car, tried to turn it on. Battery was dead. So I spent my Friday morning, mid-afternoon trying to get that taken care of. We are back. We are here ready to start another week off. It is game week for the Sun Devils. College football is back. We are just a week away from it being game week in the NFL. We'll get you ready for that. Roster cutdowns are happening. So much to dive into here today on the program. But we start today's show talking about the baseball team because over the weekend, taking 2 out of 3 from Cincinnati, a reminder of what the future is going to look like.
Time for our top story of the day. It's the Daily Special.
I tend to think I am the most bullish person out there when it comes to the 2026 version of the Arizona Diamondbacks. I have a glass half full approach to that season. And it is weekends like this past weekend that are reasons why. Because there were 4 players in the lineup, not every day, but for the most part over the weekend. And those 4 players were at the center of what this Diamondbacks team was able to do. And those 4 players are going to be key members of the 2026 Diamondbacks. And those 4 players, Corbin Carroll, Ketel Marte, Geraldo Perdomo, who's having a career year, and the returning Gabby Moreno. Those 4 players this weekend reminded all of us of why you shouldn't sell the 2026 version of this team short. Why you should take 2025 for what it was. A missed chance, yes, but a season that was filled with injuries, that was filled with underperformance from the bullpen. And if they can get those issues sorted out, if they can have the health luck go their way, if they can get the right guys added to this bullpen, maybe some of the guys they already have with this young core, maybe not so young in the case of Ketel Marte, but a core of players that are going to be here for the foreseeable future, it is easy to see where 2026 does not have to be a lost year. You took 2 out of 3 from a Cincinnati Reds team that, let's face it, they're playing for everything right now. They start a series tonight in LA against the Dodgers. They viewed you as the series where they were going to get right. They were going to close the gap between themselves and the New York Mets for that third and final wild card spot, because they know what's going to happen starting tonight in LA. They know they face an uphill battle. And you took 2 out of 3 from that team who is playing for everything, and you're playing for nothing. Why? Again, a reminder of what the future and what the present of this team looks like. I had producer Evan crunch the numbers. Corbin Carroll, Ketel Marte, Geraldo Perdomo, Gabby Moreno over the weekend, a combined 14 for 42. Little math here to start the program.
I'm a huge nerd.
That is a 333 average. Those 4 guys combined hitting over 330 this weekend. Drew 7 walks, 10 RBIs, a pair of home runs. There's your offense. That's why you should be bullish on this team going into 2026, because those players aren't going anywhere. Ketel Marte is going to be on this team next season. Corbin Carroll is going to be on this team next season. There are your table setters at the top of the lineup. In some configuration, the players that are going to hit 1 and 2 for the Diamondbacks in 2026. Geraldo Perdomo, you can stick him anywhere in the lineup. You want him to be a second leadoff guy and have him hit in the 9 spot? He'll be great there. You want him hitting in the 6 spot? Sure, he'll do that too. Corbin Carroll, Ketel Marte need a day. You want to bump him up to one of those premier top 2 spots in the lineup? He'll thrive there as well. Having a career season and doing it as somebody that can be placed in any spot of the lineup's not going to bother him. He's going to show up, do his job. And oh, by the way, he's the leader of the ball club. You saw it in the way that he chose to handle the Ketel Marte drama from a week ago. And the way that he had his teammates back. That is a leader. That is somebody speaking for the clubhouse to go along with the fact that he is having a career year hitting the baseball. And then it was Gabby Moreno's return to this team over the weekend, and we were reminded that there's an extra bat that this team has been missing for a large chunk of the season. That there is a bat that this team, when healthy, they've got somebody that you want to put in the 4, 5, 6 spot of the lineup. Gabby Moreno is going to provide you surplus value in an era, in a world where you don't get a lot of production from your catcher spot. I know what Cal Raleigh is doing up in Seattle. That's the outlier. Did you see what the Orioles did over the weekend? Signing a prospect catcher to a big long-term contract extension when they already have a former highly touted prospect behind the plate. You don't see players like that very often who can be both good defensively, but also provide you surplus value offensively at that position. Most of the time, that's the spot in your roster building where you accept a little less offensively because you know the wear and tear that player is going to take defensively. And the Diamondbacks have a player who gives you good value defensively and gives you above average value offensively to go along with a top 20 player in the sport in Ketel Marte, perennial MVP candidate, best second baseman in the sport. Corbin Carroll, who is back to being an MVP level player with the way that he has found himself this season. And Geraldo Perdomo having a breakout campaign, a career year, and everybody needs to, around baseball, take note of what Perdomo did. Don't forget his name when talking about the good players that the Diamondbacks have. That's what you were reminded of this weekend. I know yesterday didn't go well. I know a chance for a sweep, and they missed on that chance. But a Cincinnati Reds team strolled into town, looking to take 2 or 3, looking to sweep, looking to put maximum pressure on the Mets for that third and final wild card spot, and you went toe-to-toe with that team. And why? Because of the 4 guys we're talking about here to open the show.
That was the reason you don't punt or quit on 2026, right? This weekend was a picture-perfect reason of, hey, they can play in 2026 because the core 4, which is slightly less than half the lineup, is going to be what carries you through. And sometimes in baseball, if you can just put together pitching, 4 guys in the lineup's all you need.
You have 2 guys who can carry a team through stretches. Both Ketel Marte and Corbin Carroll are talented enough to carry an entire offense when the rest of the team maybe is going through it. And then you have 2 players, and I don't mean this as a knock. I mean this actually as a great deal of respect because you need players like this in the lineup. Moreno and Perdomo are consistent complementary pieces, and you need those players in the lineup. It's very difficult. Ask the Dodgers, the Mets, the Yankees, teams that have these massive budgets. They can't have an all-star at every position. They can't have the best player at every position. They even have to sacrifice something somewhere. But if you have complementary pieces that are just a little bit above average, and that's what the Diamondbacks have with their shortstop, and that's what the Diamondbacks have behind the plate, you are now team building. You now have something that you can build around. And you now don't have to go out in the offseason and find 3 or 4 new bats. Do I think this team needs a DH? Yes, I do. Do I think this team, first base is up in the air going into next season? Yes, I do. We're going to talk about this a little bit later on in the show. Is there a controversy brewing at third base? Yes, there is. And I want to talk about that player for this sound effect a little bit later on in this hour. There are holes and issues that this team needs to fill, but it makes the job a lot easier when you have a core that you can look at and count on. And the Diamondbacks have that core. That core is the 4 players that I just mentioned. It is the 2 MVP candidates on a year in and year out basis. It is the rising star, you may say, in Geraldo Perdomo, and it is the often forgotten about guy behind the plate, who very quickly reminded all of us of what he can do when he's in the lineup with what he did on Friday, hitting that big home run. Very quickly reminded of what Gabby Moreno provides to this team, and a quick reminder of what they were missing during a very vital, important stretch of the season. Didn't have it. Didn't have that person in the lineup. You don't think that might have helped a little bit? All the issues with the injuries to Corbin Burns, the injuries to the bullpen, the underperformance of the bullpen, all of those issues still contributed to why the Diamondbacks were sellers and why the Diamondbacks are in this mess. But boy, should you look at what this team is doing since the trade deadline, what this team is doing as of late, what this team did over the weekend. And I'm going to take it and bottle it up and use it as a reminder when we're talking about this team in the offseason, as don't give up. Don't punt on 2026 before it even happens. Manage your expectations accordingly, because there were lofty, big expectations for this team this year. Don't carry those over to 2026. That is not the message that I have been trying to send. The message I have been trying to send, and the message that should have hit you over the head over the weekend, is this team's got talent. This team has players that can make 2026 not a lost year. Maybe not the year that 2025 was supposed to be. Maybe not the year that 2026 was supposed to be on paper before this year started. But 2026 can still be relevant. 2026 can still be an important year for this team. Why? Those 4 guys aren't going anywhere. Last I checked, all 4 of those guys under contract for next season. Last I checked, all 4 of those guys in the long-term plans for this organization. Every single one of them. Other than Gabby, he's next up. He's the one guy that doesn't have the long-term extension. Perdomo got the long-term extension this offseason. Ketel got the extension early on in this year to pair him up with the Diamondbacks for the rest of his career. Corbin Carroll got his extension, before he even stepped foot on a big league field? There has been a commitment from this organization to these 3 players so far. There will be a commitment to Gabby Moreno here at some point in the near future. And that will be the core. Those will be the 4 guys that when we start the year, those 4 guys, if they're going, this team will go. If they're struggling, the team will struggle. Those are the 4 guys. You want to call it the core 4. You want to call it the Fab 4, whatever you want to call it. Those 4 players are going to drive the bus for the Diamondbacks here in both the short and medium-term future. And you were reminded over the weekend of what this team is capable of when those 4 players are playing well. And you didn't even have Gabby play on Sunday because they're trying to manage him coming back from the injury. They gave him a day off.
There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's a core that keeps you relevant. And for those that want to punt on 2026 or think 2026 is a lost year, I encourage you to watch what the D-backs will put out in these last couple weeks of the season. There has been certainly a plethora of reasons to quit on this year. From injury, from just blowing games late in the night, however you want to look at it. And then the last thing, and arguably the biggest thing, is everything that has surrounded Ketel Marte over the last 2 weeks. But this team continues to play baseball. And do I think the manager has probably lost the locker room? Listen, there's probably a pretty good chance of it. But they have talent. And they have guys that are up here trying to make the roster for 2026. So what does it do? It plays for a fun end of 2025, but it also shows you this team can compete in 2026.
These four guys are going to carry a lot next season, but they're the four guys you would want to carry a lot for next season. These four guys are extremely talented, and they are the guys you're going to place at the top two spots of the lineup and two major complementary pieces in Perdomo and Gabby Moreno. And so that's what I'm feeling today coming out of this weekend. Not so much disappointment about what happened yesterday, but just the reminder that I think this weekend provided for many. At least it did for me. This is why I believe so strongly to not punt on 2026. Now, you have to be careful. It is late August, about to be September. You can't read too much into all of this. But these players are still playing hard since the organization decided to sell off at the deadline. I do think that is telling, and I do think that it is telling that these four guys had good weekends, and these are the four guys that you aren't putting in pencil. You're not putting them in pen. You're putting them in Sharpie. In fact, I normally hold a pen in my hand throughout the course of the show. I'll show it to the YouTube audience. The pen I'm holding today, a Sharpie. You're putting those four names in Sharpie next season. Those four names locked into this roster, locked into their spot in the lineup, locked into being core members and key contributors. And that is why I will not give up. I will continue to be bullish on 2026. And I will continue to remind you of all of the reasons to be bullish on 2026. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. You can also join us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. I'm being called a homer today on the show. Our good friend Brian over there on the YouTube side of things called me a homer for saying that Corbin Carroll is a perennial MVP candidate. I will remind you that in 2023, when he was a Rookie of the Year candidate, also received some MVP votes, and he had a okay, I'll play the sounder for myself.
I'm a huge nerd.
He had a 132 WRC plus. Just means he was 32% better than the average hitter. That's pretty good. He's having a better year this year in that metric. He's had more home runs than he had that year. Is more than likely going to set a career year in home runs and RBIs. Another 20 stolen base season for Corbin Carroll. Maybe could get to 30 by the time this year is all said and done. So statistically, maybe a better season than the year he won Rookie of the Year and got MVP votes. I don't think he'll get any MVP votes this year, but statistically, it is a better season than 2023 in many different regards. And if he continues to have that type of power, and if he can be healthy, and I do think a lot of his counting stats were hurt by the fact that he tried to play through that fracture in his wrist, we could be talking about a guy that's hitting 270, maybe 280, and is in the MVP conversation if the Diamondbacks are playing well. When we come back, success. What does it mean for Kyler Murray? Talk about that next. KDUS, AM 1060.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Jaw-dropping stunts, high-flying tricks, heart-pounding excitement. Nitro Circus is back. The all-new off-the-rails tour. Gravity-defying thrill seekers and world-class daredevils at the top of their game. FMX, BMX, skate, scooter, and everything in between. Experience all new competitions that pit the best against the best in never-been-done showdowns. Nitro Circus. Friday, December 5th, Desert Diamond Arena. Join the action at Ticketmaster.com.
Summer's here, and SRP wants to remind you that swim safety starts with W. That's right, W, as in Water Watcher. Keep pool time a good time by designating an adult who can swim and knows CPR. Be sure they avoid distractions, always scan the swimming area, and ensure that the pool gate stays locked. Assigning a water watcher is a simple step to help prevent drownings and keep everyone safe around pools. To get more water safety tips, visit srp.net/pool.
Every day begins with the promise of something new, a new perspective, a fresh start. At Banner Health, right here, right now, we're pioneering new ways to treat cancer with our own immune systems. We're among the first to treat Parkinson's with the patient's own cells. And we're a world leader in artificial heart implantation, all while training over 1,300 doctors every year. Impressive, right? It's just another Banner day. Banner Health.
Hello, everybody. Eric Bryan, owner of Precision Air and Plumbing. If you haven't noticed, the summer's here. The triple digits are settling in, and we know the heat isn't the only thing feeling heavy. Got a tight budget? That's why we're offering new AC units starting at just $99 a month. But that's not it. You could also get up to $3,000 in federal tax credits and rebates. It's never been a better time to upgrade. Beat the heat and budget the stress. Make the precision decision today. Call us at 602-FIX-MY-AC.
Precision decision with Precision Air.
Rome here with your Rome Report. Another day, another annoying update from Love Island, the NFL edition. I'm talking about Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys, the worst reality show ever. Jera reiterated to Michael Irvin that he offered to make Micah Parsons the highest paid non-quarterback ever, and that when he reached out to Micah's agent, the agent told him he could, quote, shove it up his bleep. Of course, the agent said that. Their job is to represent and negotiate on behalf of their clients. So when somebody goes around their back directly to the player, the agent loses his or her mind. Of course, agents are funny like that. Except Micah is not amused and just scrubbed his social media of any association with the Cowboys. The only thing worse than the product on the field is the reality show that Jera is starring in and producing off of it. Hey, Pops, neither are watchable at this point, and you're to blame for that. I'm Jim Rome. Remember, you can follow me on Instagram at Jim Rome.
You need parts? O'Reilly has parts. Get one free set of brake pads when you buy 2 brake rotors. Upgrade to Brake Best Select pads for just $10. Or upgrade to Brake Best Select Pro or Import Direct pads for just $20. Product availability. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
James Out West, your desert destination for sports here in the Valley.
You've seen Shador. We've all seen him. He's, kind of everybody gravitates toward him.
He's got aura.
There we go. Thank you, as the young kids say. He's just there doing his job. He shows up early. He stays late. He's not posting it on social media to post it on social media to say, look at me. What you see is when he shows up to a neighborhood in which just got burned down, the apartment complex, and he sets up food trucks. I can't wait to see what happens for him, and I think that they have a good foundation for the future.
It's James Out West, every other Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m., right here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
About 25 minutes from now, buy or sell. Hottest takes in sports talk radio. But right now, let's talk about Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals. It'll be this time next week, producer Evan. It will be a full football extravaganza here on the show. We will be getting ready for actual football action. We need to decide when we're doing our predictions ahead of the season. I didn't really want to lead the week with that stuff. Felt like we should get into things a little bit before we do our predictions. Maybe we'll do them next week as we get closer. We got to make our picks. We have to decide on our punishment.
I like that. We got to decide on our punishment. Are we doing division winner picks?
We've got a lot of actionable items here that we need to, as a show, and that includes you, either calling us at 480-864-1060. You can email in the show via the KDUS AM 1060 app, or if you're watching us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream, you can share your thoughts over there as well. We got to decide on our punishment for the pick segment, which you will be a part of as well. We've got to decide on predictions. Normally, I do the division winners, the 3 wild card teams, and then the conference championship and the Super Bowl.
I like it.
We may want to throw in the awards, MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookies of the Year on both sides. That is a lot, but what are we doing this for if it's not to?
We're all in.
We gotta make proclamations.
We're all in.
We gotta have takes. So we gotta predict the divisions, predict who's making the postseason, predict who's winning, predict the awards, and at the end we'll see who's the most accurate. So we got to do that. So we have all of that to get to between now and next Thursday. We have to decide on our picks punishment. It's a different pick segment last year. We did the Schubert 6. I made 6 selections. I'm not doing that this year. It's a head-to-head battle. It's you versus me. And then we got a listener involved every week as well. So a lot riding on this.
A lot. All chips are in the middle of the table.
And are either of us going to be bold enough to take the Thursday night game?
I was going to ask that.
Sure.
So if I'm in here on Thursday and love the Thursday night spread.
If you want that to be your 3-2 1-point play, you just got to announce it on the show. And then when we get to Friday, you'll either already have points in hand or you'll be reeling a little bit. It'll make for a good Friday show.
Love it.
So Thursday's all fair game. But to go first and to pick a Thursday game, especially week 1, Thursday night, that's bold. I don't know if I'm bold enough to do it. So we have all of that coming up here at some point over the next week plus, because football right around the corner. ESPN this morning released their predicting their top 100 players for this season in the NFL. And player number 99 was very intriguing to me because it was the quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals. It was Kyler Murray. After not being part of this list in 2024, they have decided to put him on the list for 2025 and say, no, player number 99. That wasn't the intriguing part to me. It was at the bottom for each player. They had a 2025 projection for Kyler Murray, for all the players, stats-wise. And I looked at these stats, and I'll tell you what, Producer Evan, we're going to talk ourselves back into this never-ending pit that we're in when talking about Kyler Murray and predicting how good he's going to be next season, or this upcoming season, I should say, because I looked at these numbers, and I'll read them to you, but I looked at these numbers, and I said, that's a playoff quarterback. When I saw these numbers on paper, I said, that's good enough for the Cardinals to make the postseason. So with that in mind, I'm going to read you the numbers. 3,865 passing yards, 22 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 600 yards on the ground, 597, I rounded, and 5 rushing TDs. So in total, more than 4,300 yards of total offense from Kyler Murray, 27 combined touchdowns, and 12 interceptions.
Playoff team.
That's a playoff team, right?
That is a playoff team.
If those are the numbers that Kyler Murray is going to give you, this team's winning double-digit games. They're probably winning the division. They're hosting a home playoff game. And in my mind, a successful season for all parties.
I think if he is looked at as a top 100 player, then I really believe they're a playoff team. Obviously, the 12 interceptions. Everybody's going to say, well, that still feels like a lot. That's who he is. But we talked about it on the show. They just need to be more timely this year. You can't have them on those back-breaking drives like they had last year. If you limit those on the important drives, this team could win 11 games with that stat line.
If he throws that many yards, it will be the second most yards he's thrown in a regular season, matching 2020, where he threw 3,971. So it would be just behind that number, too.
And that was the playoff team? That was the year before the playoff team. 2020,
I'll be honest with everybody. The COVID year in sports has messed up my ability to remember when things were. The time just didn't exist.
So 2020 would have been before the playoff year. The Cardinals came out of the gates hot. They had that second half collapse. That was either Cliff's first year.
That the year where Thursday Night Football against the Packers, AJ Green.
Believe that was the next year.
So that's 21 where they got the great start and they collapsed down the stretch, but still made the postseason and
and
embarrassed
lost
themselves.
the Rams. That was 21.
So
20 is the collapse where they didn't make the playoffs.
So this is the year prior in which he had his best year statistically, both on the ground and in the air. If you look at Kyler Murray's numbers, that is the best version of Kyler. But if he threw for the numbers in the ESPN projections, it would be his second best year from a passing yards perspective. It would be his third best year from a passing touchdown perspective. It will tie his career high in interceptions. He threw 11 last year, just for the record. And then from a rushing perspective, it would be the most amount of yards he's rushed for since 2020 when he rushed for 819. So it'd be the second best year there, and it will be the most amount of yards and the most amount of touchdowns that he's run for since suffering the injury. Those are the numbers that ESPN is projecting for Kyler Murray. I'm sorry, if he hits those numbers, it is a failure. I don't know who the failure's on. We'll see when we get there, but it would be a failure for this team to not be in the playoffs if you're going to get basically 2020 Kyler in the air and a little bit below 2020 Kyler on the ground.
To me, that would mean that the defense was a problem.
The defense had themselves a rough go of it.
Yeah.
To put it nicely.
That would be the only way with those numbers that they don't make the playoffs.
Those numbers stand out for Kyler. It would be better in every metric for last year. He would throw one more interception. I'll give it to him. More touchdowns, more yards on the ground, the same number of touchdowns on the ground. He would be a better version of himself from last year. And isn't that what we thought the problem was last year? Kyler just needed to be a little bit better. This is Kyler being a little bit better. Soft part of the schedule to open up the year. Get the wins early and give me this type of Kyler season. There is, in my mind, zero excuse to not be a playoff team. Zero, none. For Kyler to throw for nearly 4,000 yards, to rush for another 600, to throw 20-plus touchdowns, to rush for 5 touchdowns on the ground, that is what Kyler Murray should be as a quarterback for you. That's it. That's the ceiling. That's who he is as a player. And he's going to hit it and not make the postseason. I don't think I'm going to put that on him. That blame's going to go someplace else would be my guess. That blame's going to go on a coaching miscue or the defense not holding up its end of the bargain or the running game being bad. Something is going to lead to that number, those numbers not being good enough to be a postseason team. Because on paper, looking at them, when I read them this morning, I said, that's a playoff team.
I mean, you look at those numbers and know what they had success offensively last year in the run game, and you just think, okay, to me, that's a team that could win 11 games.
At worst, he's going to be the same quarterback he was last year, according to those numbers. And we all think on paper their defense is improved. We know their defense is improved. This feels pretty easy. This feels pretty simple. That's a playoff team. That's a playoff quarterback. That's a playoff team. Mission accomplished.
I really think so as well. And maybe, Brian has already called you a homer today. Maybe he thinks we're too optimistic.
Well, because he mentioned it in the tease before the break that I think Kyler's passing totals in the sports gambling world is around 3,400. And maybe we can check that because that's the number he threw out there in the chat. And he said that feels like easy for him to hit the over because he's
3,400 feels.
And that's why I want to check the number because the number feels like it may be higher than that, but we'll check that during the break. But projections around 38, 39. He threw for 38 last year. He's thrown for 34 a number of times in his career. I think if that's the number, that might go on the book it wall.
I think it has
right next to the Suns win total over that we're already on well before the season begins. We may add Kyler Murray's regular season passing totals if that's the number. So we should check on that during the break. You want to join us here today on the show? 480-864-1060 is the phone number. You can also hop on over to the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream and chat away over there as well. When we come back, the Diamondbacks, do they have a third base controversy? I'll explain next. It's the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Hosier presents the Unreal Unearthed Tour 2025, live in Phoenix. Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater, October 7th. With special guest, Amble. Get tickets now at livenation.com. The #1 album, Unreal Unearthed, is available everywhere. For more, visit hosier.com.
The Mazda More to Move You sales event is going on now at Mark Mazda in Scottsdale. Right now, receive 1.9% financing for up to 60 months on the brand new 2025 Mazda CX-50 or CX-50 Hybrid.
Or receive $10,000 off the top of MSRP when you lease a brand new 2025 Mazda CX-70 or CX-90 plug-in hybrid. Think of how low your payment will be with those savings. Go to markmazdascottsdale.com.
The name to remember, Mark Mazda, Mark Mazda, on approved credit plus $998 doc fee.
Hi, Luis Gonzalez here. Want to bet? Feel the thrill of Casino Arizona with 1,400 of the hottest slots and nonstop table game action. We make winners, no experience necessary. Join us for the best bingo in the valley with daily sessions. Indulge in all-you-can-eat Eagles Buffet or enjoy fine dining experience at the award-winning Choyo Steakhouse. Enjoy top-notch local entertainment, tribute bands, and viewing parties at CAZ Sports Bar, just off the 101 in McKellips. Casino Arizona, uniquely Arizona.
America. We are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. By honoring your sacred vocation of business, you impact your family, your friends, and your community. At Grand Canyon University, our MBA degree program is 100% online, with emphases in business analytics and finance to help you reach your goals. Find your purpose at GCU. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know it's not just a car, it also drives your children's dreams. So whether you're going to soccer practice, robotics club, or opening night in the school play, we help protect those dreams. Save up to 23% when you bundle auto and home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Stay at the heart of it all with a special Cliff Castle room rate starting at just $99 with no resort fees. Less fees mean more ways to choose your next adventure at the gateway to the region's best gaming, entertainment, and natural wonders. And expect service from the heart as well. We think you'll love your stay with us and all the value we provide, starting at just $99 with no added fees. Cliff Castle Casino Hotel, at the heart of it all. Valid Sunday through Thursday. Some restrictions apply. An enterprise of the Yavapai Apache Nation.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KTUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
Is history repeating itself for the Arizona Cardinals? That's how we'll open hour number 2 of the program, about 20 minutes from now. But do the Diamondbacks have a third base controversy on their hands? Because we touched on this earlier in the month when he was having a hot start to August. But Blaze Alexander has played a very good third base for the Diamondbacks, both defensively and with the bat in the month of August. Had cooled down a bit from the hot start that we saw him have first 2 weeks or so of this month. But is still hitting .256 for the month of August, .356 on base percentage, and OPS north of 850. And yes, I mentioned OPS, so I am contractually obligated.
I'm a huge nerd.
Anything over 800 in the OPS department is what you're looking for out of a regular everyday starter. And so Blaze Alexander, at least in the month of August, is playing like somebody who should be the starting third baseman every day for this team in 2026. Now, I'm also contractually obligated. Anytime we talk about the Diamondbacks in third base, you know what I have to do. Because Jordan Lawler, I'm seeing clips of him doing great things on social media. Now, producer Evan, did you happen to catch the social media clip? I think it was on Saturday. Might have been yesterday, but I think it was on Saturday, of Jordan Lawler making a play.
I did not. I'm going to search for it.
Oh,
right
you know
now.
what? Then this will be a fun little bit here. Since you don't know what this clip was, let's see if you pick up on the same thing I picked up on. So just type into your fancy Google machine over there.
Jordan Lawler.
Well,
Here
just
it is.
if you go to the Reno Aces, you go to their social media page, specifically their Twitter account, you'll notice that they tweeted a highlight over the weekend of Jordan Lawler making a great defensive play. And perhaps you will notice something about this great defensive play that Jordan Lawler makes. I don't know how far down you have to scroll. I don't know exactly when it happened. But Jordan Lawler had a good day with the bat over the weekend and has continued to be great down in AAA. I mean, his AAA numbers are outstanding, hitting over 300 since coming back from the injury. He's been great. It just feels like a matter of time before Jordan Lawler is up here at the big league level. But that's the point of this conversation.
The diving play at second base.
See, that's the key. Second base was the position that Jordan Lawler was playing in that clip. Not playing third base, not playing the outfield like we suggested earlier in the year, but over there playing second base. Now, I don't know if that's something to read into or if they're just giving him time at different positions to increase his value, the flexibility that he has. But right now, Blaze Alexander is playing, at least in the month of August, like a major league caliber third baseman. Do I think the 856 OPS is going to be his number for the rest of his career? No. For the year, if you combine the bad July that he had, he's got a 738 OPS. That feels more in line with who Blaze Alexander is going to be as a player. But that type of OPS has got value. That is a player that provides value because offensively, a decent, close to average player, along with the defense that he's providing, you want players like that on your roster. Blaze Alexander is playing like somebody who deserves a roster spot in 2026. And right now, you would have to say he has the leg up over Jordan Lawler for third base next season for a couple of reasons. Reason number one, he's actually doing it at the big league level right now. Jordan Lawler, not on the big league roster. Jordan Lawler not putting up an 800 OPS in the month of August. Jordan Lawler not playing third base every day for this team. So Blaze Alexander is actually doing it. And reason number two why Blaze Alexander has the leg up right now, at least in my mind, over Jordan Lawler, while it was a small sample size, Jordan Lawler has not impressed in the cup of coffee he has gotten with this big league team. I don't have his numbers directly in front of me. Producer Evan, if I do this research right now, do you think Jordan Lawler is going to have an OPS near 738 during his tenure with the Diamondbacks? The big league roster? Do you think I'm going to be able to find this? Because I'm on his Fangraphs page. I'm not going to scroll down yet. Do you think I'm going to see an OPS above 738? You think it's going to happen?
You and I both know the answer is no.
On
the big league roster.
Big league roster.
I would say it's 400 points short of that.
There's a lot I got to do here. I got to get rid of the minor league seasons. Just give me a second, everybody.
Do you want to know what it is?
No, I got it. It just takes me a second. Hold on. He had a 335 OPS in 2023. He has a 136 OPS in a limited amount of time. Now, again, a very small sample size.
It's a 259 career OPS.
Thank you for the quick math. You just looked at the bottom where it said total. You didn't even do that math. And the projections for the rest of the season have him hitting at around a 640 OPS, some 650, 660 OPS, so not giving you what Blaze is giving you. Now, if you had to make me pick one of these two players that I believe has the higher ceiling, I'm still picking Jordan Lawler. But there comes a time where you got to do it. And that's why it is so important for the Diamondbacks to find room on this roster. We are, 6 days away, 7 days away from September 1st. Rosters expand. You can add a hitter. You can add a pitcher. Let me let everybody in on a little secret. More than likely, the hitter that they add on September 1st is going to be Jordan Lawler. I hope that they add him sooner. I hope that they call him up and start him today, tomorrow. They started a series with Milwaukee. Get him in there. Give him as much runway as possible. But by September 1st, he should be called up and every day in the lineup. DHing, playing third base, playing second base, letting Ketel DH, whatever. You want to give Ketel some days off with his legs and have him DH the rest of the season? Fine. Jordan Lawler needs to be called up and he needs to play every day. Why? Because I need a bigger sample size than what I've seen in short runs in 23 and the short run that he had earlier this year. Because guess what? There's a player on this team right now that is playing his way into being the favorite to be the third baseman next season. And Jordan Lawler now not only has to show it at the big league level, but now he's got competition. Now he's got to pass somebody in this race. He has to pass Blaze Alexander. So it's not just about coming up and showing that he can do it. It's coming up, showing that he can do it, and showing that he is a better option than Blaze Alexander. And that's not a sentence I thought I would utter at some point this season. That is a credit to Blaze, but it is also further proof of the situation we find ourselves in with Jordan Lawler. It's all hypothetical right now. His ceiling, his potential is still all hypothetical. Now, I expect him to be better than a career 259 OPS. It's the smallest of sample size. How many at-bats is it? It's 22 total games. It's 56 total plate appearances. It is a small sample size, granted. But do you know who doesn't have a small sample size right now and is proving that he's at least a serviceable big league player? Blaze Alexander. That's the battle that Jordan Lawler is fighting. And the only way to give Jordan Lawler a fair fight here is he's got to get a chance, and he's got to get a chance soon and get the month of September to show that he has put it all together. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. When we come back, buy or sell to close up hour number 1 of the program. The hottest takes in sports talk radio. Producer Evan will have them for us. I'm buying or selling them next. It's the lunch break. KDUS, AM 1060.
Join in on the Sports Zoo on your ride home from work with Dave Rooster Bierstein. Join Rooster as he lays down what's happening around sports and makes it clear what's on his mind. Oh my. Catch the day's craziest stories and some of the latest numbers from the sports books across the valley. The Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a wild option.
Weekdays 5 to 6 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Nitro Circus is back with the all-new Off the Rails Tour. World-class daredevils and FMX, BMX, skate, scooter, and more. Jaw-dropping stunts, high-flying tricks, and never-been-done showdowns. Friday, December 5th, Desert Diamond Arena. Visit Ticketmaster.com.
Hi, I'm Andrew the Homebuyer. Selling your house right now the traditional way isn't so easy. The average home is taking months to sell. Fortunately, I can help. I'll come to your home and give you a cash offer within minutes. Then we can close in under 5 days, and I'll make sure you get as much money for your house as possible. Call me, Andrew the Homebuyer, today, and let's get your home sold. Visit AndrewTheHomebuyer.com. That's AndrewTheHomebuyer.com.
You got the paint job, but now you need the materials fast. Get free same-day or next-day delivery on select PPG paints from the Home Depot. Now that's a pro move. Save time on store runs and get free delivery on small or large orders of select items. Save energy shopping around with PPG's wide assortment of colors and finishes all in one place. And save money with Pro Extra, where you can get up to 20% off paints, primers, and stains through Paint Rewards. The Home Depot, how pros get more done.
Jack here. My bonus Jack combo starting at $3.99 comes with fries, a drink, and a burger with 1, 2, or 3 patties. It's a meal that'll actually make you happy. Starting at $3.99. Get so much more. Welcome to Jack in the Box. Plus tax, limited time only. Price and participation may vary.
The summertime deals are still heating up at Mark Kia. Right now, receive 0% APR for up to 60 months on a brand new 2025 Kia EV6.
That's right, 0%. The name to remember, Markia. Markia. This is a deal you've been waiting for.
Offer expires September 7th, 2025.
Live the horror at Universal Studios Hollywood Halloween Horror Nights. Select nights September 4th to November 2nd. Face your fears in post-apocalyptic LA in a haunted house based on the hit show Fallout and more. Event not recommended for children under 13.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Back to wrap up hour number 1 here, the lunch break on KDUS AM 1060. It's buy or sell time. Hottest takes in sports talk radio. Producer Evan has them. I'm reacting to them. I'm buying or selling, and I never know what's coming most of the time. So my guess is football related today. It's football season.
Honestly, it's all over the place. There is 3 football.
How many in total?
5.
So the majority football this season, or for today.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if I can find Kyler Murray's. Wow, his regular season total passing number is 33.75.5.
Love that.
Put it on the board.
Yeah. Paris Johnson was snubbed by being left off the NFL's top 100 list.
Now, you're referencing the NFL.com list, right? You're
Correct.
not referencing the ESPN predicting.
Correct.
Okay, so I just want to make sure we got a couple of lists. I don't want us to mix it up here. I'm going to buy this only so that I can use this as a rant against this list. This list stinks. It's bad. Do you know how they do this list?
It's voted on by the players.
But do you know how the players vote?
No.
The players write down, I believe this is the way it is. Like, I if I'm corrected, then so be it. I believe the players are given a ballot, and they write down their top 20 players. That's it. And then all of that data is compiled, and then the top 100 list is created. So in order to get on this list, that means you have to have been mentioned somewhere
in a top 20
as a top 20 player. There are players on this list that are not top 20 players in the NFL.
No.
So the whole list, throw it in the trash. But yes, Paris Johnson, if he's not on there, should be on there. He's one of the top. If we were doing this actually, one of the best 100 players in the sport, a stalwart left tackle, absolutely deserves to be in the top 100 players.
Yeah, I agree.
But with the methodology that they use, no way Paris Johnson's ever going to get in there. Because Paris Johnson, no offense, isn't a top 20 player in the NFL.
No, he's not. Jordan Lawler needs to start getting reps in the outfield.
Oh, Jordan Lawler. I mean, we've been saying this. I'll buy this. We've been saying this for months now. We said this when he was still down in Reno, tearing the cover off the ball. What could he do to force his way to the big league level? And we said, provide that positional flexibility. We already know you can play third. We know you can play short. We know you can play some second. That's where you've played. Add that outfield. At the time, Gurriel wasn't playing all that great. They were banged up out there. You now give a manager another way to get you into the lineup every day. So do I think that will help him? Yes. What's going to help him more than where he plays is just being at the big league level and hitting. If he's hitting, they'll figure out a spot to put him. But if he's going to come up and continue to struggle, and I don't want the last segment to be taken as I've given up on Jordan Lawler. I've got the soundboard, for goodness sake. Okay, this is a pro Jordan Lawler program, but he's got to show it at some point, and it may take a little bit longer for his development. He's still the top prospect in the organization. There's still a ton of belief in who he is as a player, but the later you get in your career, belief goes out the window. I got to see it, and we're, I think, right on that edge of starting to get worried that it's never going to happen. It's never going to click. Not all the way there. The thought is creeping into my mind, though. I'd like to see more than 56 plate appearances, though. Can I get 250, 400 plate appearances before I make it?
It would have helped if he got a fair shot.
It would have helped if he got a fair shot, and we criticized the organization and Torrey when they called him up, not playing him every day.
The rest of the season doesn't matter. The Diamondbacks will move on from Torrey Lovello at the end of 2025.
The dust has settled a little bit from the Ketel Marte drama. Cooler heads maybe have prevailed here. I'm still going to buy this take. I still think a change is coming. They made the change at the third base spot. I do think there's going to be some reflection at the end of this. And the reflection is going to be, you've been here for nearly a decade. You're one of the longest tenured managers in the sport. We shouldn't have these types of issues in our clubhouse. We shouldn't have this run of not making the postseason. If you want to blame this year on injuries, I think you would be fair to do so. But you should have made the playoffs last year. You didn't. You barely missed. And I'm sure I can find a game or two where the manager messed it up and they could have won a game that got them in the postseason. And I just think with everything that's happened over the last couple of weeks, with everything that's happened over the last 2 seasons, I think this organization is going to want a fresh voice in there to not turn the page per se, but to make potentially some of the disgruntled players in that clubhouse feel like their voices are being heard.
I think it is a little bit to turn the page. If people are as disgruntled as maybe we've heard, there almost needs to be a turning of the page.
Yeah. I maybe it's fair to use that phrase. I just think that they're going to want a clean slate. And the only way they can really, truly put the Cattell Marte stuff in the past, put it behind them, like Derek Hall has said, I think it's either Cattell goes or Torrey goes or both go. I don't think Cattell's going. So then I don't think both are going. That leaves only one option to be able to firmly say, yes, this is behind us. Is you have a new voice in there that's going to have that no nonsense on both sides. No nonsense from Cattell's perspective and no nonsense from the players to go leak to the media that they're bothered by this, right? If you've got a guy who's got a good pulse, a good read, a good gauge in that clubhouse, he makes sure those players' voices are being heard well before they get frustrated.
Those things are handled in-house.
And they're handled way before you, to get to that point to where you're leaking it.
You got to be pretty far along.
You're past the point of no return, right?
Yep.
I think a new voice makes sure that doesn't happen.
Terry McLaurin contract extension. Micah Parsons deal will be the next to be done.
Oh, sell. I'm going to sell this take. Every time Jerry Jones speaks about this,
he makes it worse.
He makes it worse, and he makes me feel like it's going to take even longer to get the deal done. Like
I've never seen anybody like it. They can't continue to do this.
He understands that if he wants to get this done, all he has to do is call up the agent, right?
Yes, I don't understand how he doesn't know it.
And Micah has a very well-respected agent. This isn't some no-name family member.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not.
Mulgeta is one of the best agents in the sport. He'll answer the phone, Jerry.
And guess what? Imagine of all his clients. Like you said it. It's a well-respected agent in the NFL. You don't think he's telling the rest of his team or the rest of his guys, like, hey, Dallas isn't our spot to be.
Right. He's now maybe not going to push clients that way. Yeah. I continue to be fascinated by this.
I mean, they are so poorly run over there right now. So poorly.
I mean, they've been poorly run for a while.
Have you watched the documentary at all?
You're the second person that asked me this today. My dad, I was talking to him earlier this morning. He also asked me if I had watched this. I don't need to watch it. You know my feeling on these types of documentaries. I feel like the real life version is fine enough. With Jerry right now, the real life version, I'm good. I've got enough content from Jerry Jones. I don't need more. I'm okay. It's enough of a train wreck as it is.
It's a train wreck. The Commanders will hit the under win totals at 9.5.
So that's their win total in Vegas?
9.5.
I'll take the over.
It's a hard schedule.
It is. They've got the quarterback. And they've got the coach.
And the oldest roster in the league.
I know, but when you've got the quarterback and you've got the coach, you're going to win a game you probably shouldn't on paper. You're going to be able to win a close game here or there. Maybe a couple like that. I'll take the over. All they got to do is get to 10-7. I think the Commanders can be a 10-7 football team this year. At worst case scenario, yeah, I think so. Hour number 1 of the program in the books. Hour number 2 right around the corner. Thanks for joining us. It's the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
These lawyers say they treat clients like family while secretly putting mandatory settlement quotas on their lawyers.
We never set settlement quotas. We measure success by achieving each client's best outcome.
Do your research. Call the husband and wife law team first.
Breaking Benjamin. Stay forever. And 3 Days Grace. 8th at Desert Diamond Arena with special guest Return to Dust. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Don't miss Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace, presented by the Big Red Radio.
Global Credit Union, how can I help you?
It's one of those voice prompts.
Representative! Good morning. How can I help?
Wait, is this a real person?
It's 2 a.m.
We're here to help members 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Impossible.
At Global, possible. Learn more at globalcu.org. Global Credit Union, your world of financial possibilities.
Hi, I'm Brian, your friend and jeweler here at Shane Company. Come on in, feel at home, and let's find your dream engagement ring. I'm proud to work for a company that puts customers first and lets them shop the way they want to. See, we believe shopping for an engagement ring should be fun without any of the pressure. We don't work on commission, so finding your dream ring is truly on your terms. We'll be right by your side as your friend and jeweler to help you find a ring more beautiful than you imagined and stick to your budget too. We have all of the styles and all of the smiles. You can even watch our in-house jewelers working their magic inside your neighborhood store. It's that kind of care and craftsmanship that makes Shane Company's free lifetime warranty the best in the business, saving you thousands over time and giving you peace of mind. No appointment necessary, or check us out at shaneco.com. Because a friend knows when you're ready, you're ready. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
The Mazda More to Move You sales event is going on now at Mark Mazda. Right now, receive 1.9% APR for 60 months on the brand new 2025 Mazda CX-50 or CX-50 Hybrid.
The name to remember? Mark Mazda. Mark Mazda. On approved credit plus $998 fee.
This fall, choose Primavera Online, and you'll be choosing a school with flexibility, personalized support, and an award-winning curriculum that's over 20 years strong. Now enrolling grades K to 12 at chooseprimavera.com.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Hour number 2 of the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060. Appreciate you hanging out with us here today on the Monday edition of the show. Hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. It was a softball-free weekend for me, producer Evan. I know your facial reaction was my facial reaction when I found out that it was a softball-free weekend, that we did not have a tournament. Now, that's very short-lived. We got 2 games tonight. We got practice tomorrow, practice on Thursday, a big Labor Day tournament over the weekend. So a very short-lived weekend off, but it was a weekend off.
What'd you do? I mean, that's a big weekend for you.
I tried to not do a whole lot. I tried to stay inside the house, tried to get stuff done around the house, watch some baseball over the weekend. But it was very much just trying to do as little as possible.
It's a good weekend.
Especially when I know that there's potentially 3 days worth of softball coming up next weekend.
And listen, we haven't talked about it yet, but a very happy birthday to you today after a softball-free weekend.
Yeah, today is my birthday. We were going to try to not bring it up here on the show today, but thank you for the birthday wishes. But yes, today is my birthday. I turned 31 today, and I will be spending it how I spend most of my days at the softball field later tonight. But yes, thank you very much. And I'm sure there will be a plethora of well wishes that now come in now, so I'll just get in front of it and say thank you to everybody ahead of time. I've been trying to not mention it, but that's fine. Cat's out of the bag. Yes, today's my birthday. We're here, we're hanging out, we're having a good time. And we're getting ready for the football season right around the corner. Next week, we will be getting you ready and making predictions and making picks for the first week of the NFL season. Cannot believe we've made it through the summer. We did it, everybody. We are here. And before you know it, we'll be talking about the Cardinals against the Saints in week 1 and breaking it down in 2 Mondays from now, producer Evan. We will open this program. I will hit the daily special sounder, and we will be reacting to, hopefully, a Cardinals victory. We'll be breaking down Kyler Murray's performance in a game that actually matters. A very important season for this franchise will have officially gotten started. 2 Sundays from yesterday, Red Zone football. Can't believe it. We're here. We made it. But unfortunately, it's not all sunshine and rainbows for the Arizona Cardinals because it feels like history is repeating itself. It feels like a sequel playing out with the script very similar to the original. Because for the second straight year, the Arizona Cardinals have a first-round draft pick who's going to be unavailable for the start of the season. They have a first-round draft pick who may not be available for the first chunk of the year. Last year was Darius Robinson, who got hurt and missed a big chunk of the year. Didn't come back until very late in the season. And what was our conversation? Because we were on the air at that point when Darius Robinson was starting to practice, starting to get close to returning to the lineup. We tempered the expectations and we said, listen, you now have a player who missed all of training camp, missed the preseason, hasn't played 9-10 weeks of the regular season. They are not going to throw this kid on the field and give him a full workload. They're going to start him off very slowly, and then they will ramp him up, and potentially by year's end, he will get a full game's worth of snaps. Now, it may happen on a better timetable than last year, but that is the exact same situation that the Cardinals are faced right now with Walter Nolan. I don't know when Walter Nolan is going to take the field for the Arizona Cardinals, but what I do know, after missing basically all of training camp, not getting into any preseason action, not having any live reps, it's going to take him a little bit. It's going to take him probably 3 or 4 weeks at practice before he is up to speed and gets some work in a game. Because the first thing that needs to happen is Walter Nolan needs to get on the field for this team, practicing, just being a part of live reps. And then you're going to see how his body feels. You're going to see how his lower body feels. What was it, a calf, I believe? Calf strain for Walter Nolan? It's basically the same injury. We talk about history repeating itself. Basically the same injury that Darius Robinson had. So he's got to get on the field. He's got to practice. You have to see how his body reacts to that. And then they're going to ramp up practice the next week. And it's going to probably take 2 or 3 weeks before he's even a game time decision. We know how this script's going to go. He's going to be out there at practice. And there's going to be questions about it all week. And then he's going to be ruled out on Thursday or Friday. And then that's going to happen probably the next week. And then week 3 is when you probably will start to get the feel like Walter Nolan could be in the lineup. And when he is, it's going to be on a very limited snap count basis. Then they'll see how his body reacts to that, playing in a game, and then very quickly getting back into practice. And then they will ramp up his workload from there. This is going to follow the same script as Darius Robinson's injury from a year ago. There is one key difference, though. The Arizona Cardinals are better equipped this year to handle that. They did not have Calais Campbell last year. They did not have Dalvin Tomlinson last year. They did not have Darius Robinson at the beginning of last year. They did not have Josh Sweat at the beginning of last year. They didn't have these players. These players were not on the team in week 1 of 2024. When an already undermanned unit lost their young, up-and-coming, full of potential defensive line prospect who was supposed to be part of the solution to that problem, was supposed to help this team get after the quarterback. They didn't have that player. Well, the Cardinals, they learned from their mistake. They were not going to put themselves in that position again. So they signed Josh Sweat. They signed Calais Campbell. They signed Dalvin Tomlinson. They drafted another defensive line prospect in Walter Nolan. And so now, with Walter Nolan on the shelf, with Walter Nolan facing a significant time of being away from this team, honestly, it's felt like the Cardinals have been able to carry on business as usual, and you still feel confident in this group. Remember where you were when Darius Robinson got hurt last year. The feeling of, oh no, what are they going to do? How is this team going to get after the quarterback? They don't have a group that's capable of doing it. Inconsistent, not enough talent. None of those concerns apply to this year's group. And so history is repeating itself.
The Cardinals are in a similar situation to a year ago, a first round, and in both cases, it was their second first round pick. It was their late first round pick. It was their late first round pick this year with Walter Nolan. It was their late first round pick in 24 with Darius Robinson that are on the shelf. But they learned from, not their mistake, but they learned from the injury last year and said, we will never be in that position again. And they have insulated themselves to better weather not having Walter Nolan because they paid money to Josh Sweat, because they paid money to Calais Campbell, because they brought in Dalvin Tomlinson, because they have Baron Browning, who they acquired at the deadline, because they have Zaven Collins. They just have a group that is better prepared, better insulated, that if Walter Nolan isn't available until week 5, week 6, week 7, they can get to that point. Helps that they have a softer part of the schedule at the beginning. Helps that the guys that they have should be able to do enough damage, and you just want Walter Nolan for that stretch run. But for the second straight year, the Cardinals are confronted with this issue. They are better prepared to handle it this year. That's the sign of maturity from a front office. That's the sign of maturity from an organization. Understanding, hey, we may have messed that up a little bit. It's not our fault that the player got injured, but we didn't really protect ourselves in the right way. We left a gaping hole on our roster, size of the Grand Canyon, with that group. We're going to fix it. And that's what they did this offseason. They did that with Calais Campbell. They did that with Dalvin Tomlinson. They did that with Josh Sweat, Darius Robinson entering year 2, all of the reasons why they were able to do that. So I feel differently about this injury than I did Darius Robinson's injury. It's still going to suck for Walter Nolan because it's basically going to throw his rookie year completely out the window. He's going to be behind the 8 ball all year long. He's going to be trying to play catch up in the middle of an NFL season. And that's going to be hard. That's going to be hard for Walter Nolan. Guess what? We saw it with Darius Robinson. We saw how hard it was for him to try to play catch up. And he was doing it late in the season. The benefit for Walter Nolan is you can see a path for him to do it earlier in the year. It may not be till week 10, week 11. He probably can draw in earlier, but he is still going to be having that uphill battle. But as a team, they are better prepared and better equipped to handle this. So you feel like in week 1 when they play the Saints, or week 2, week 3, early part of the season, you don't feel like that's going to be the thing that comes back to haunt them. Whereas last year, you're watching the games, you're getting ready for the next week's matchup, and you're wondering, how are they going to get after the quarterback? Because they don't have Darius Robinson. You won't say this year, how are they going to get after the quarterback? They don't have Walter Nolan. That's the difference. Everything else about this situation is basically a carbon copy. It's basically the sequel. But the difference, the main character, the Arizona Cardinals franchise, they better position themselves this time around.
They're just deeper. They attacked their worst unit in the offseason, and they added Walter Nolan. And Walter Nolan, even coming into this year, felt like a depth piece in what was going to be his rookie year.
Felt like the cherry on top, right?
They are better equipped and so much deeper at that spot this year than they were last year. Even without Walter Nolan playing, it could be who knows how long, right? Even if he doesn't see the field till week 10, I'm still extremely confident in this group. And last year, I couldn't say the same. Knowing they were going to miss Darius Robinson, you're like, okay, well, where's the production going to come from?
This year, you don't have those questions. This year, you're like, oh, it's going to be Josh Sweat. It's going to be Calais Campbell. It's going to be Darius Robinson. It's going to be Dalvin Tomlinson, Baron Browning, Zaven Collins. You just go through the list and you name all those guys off and you feel way more comfortable with the group because of the investments that have been made financially by this organization to make sure they were never in that position again, so that if an injury happened like it did, they're not caught with their pants down. They're positioned to be like, okay, this sucks. This is a blow, but we are equipped to be able to move on, and this is not going to derail our season. There are certain positions where it doesn't matter, right? You lose your quarterback, nothing you can do to prepare for that.
Yeah.
But depth at wide receiver, depth at the defensive line, depth at corner. That's where you need to be able to weather the storm for an injury. And the Cardinals learned from their failings of last year, and they said never again. We are not going to put ourselves in that position.
You can't be thin, right? There's the 5 pillar positions. You can't be thin at 4 of them. At quarterback, that's just a whole different conversation. But offensive line, defensive line, receiver, corner.
Yeah, the 5 pillars: quarterback, wide receiver, left tackle, edge, corner. I would say corner, edge, wide receiver, and your offensive line as a whole, you have to have depth.
Have to.
Now, you don't need to have 5 backups across the board on your offensive line, but you need to have 2 that you trust.
A swing tackle that you like, that you can get in there.
And a player that can maybe play all 3 interior positions.
Yep.
You have those 2 guys. Anything after that, I'm not going to fault you for not being prepared for that, right? I can fault the Cardinals last year for not being prepared for Darius Robinson getting hurt. Because if anybody on their defensive line got hurt, they were in a bad spot. This year, you can tell. Walter Nolan being hurt was a big deal because we think the world of him talent-wise, and we think he can be an impact player. But it didn't, I think, impact the way we talked about this team because we just took everybody else that this roster had on it for granted because they did such a good job investing in that group.
I don't have a different outlook on the season because I know Walter Nolan's going to miss time.
Right.
Last year when you talked about Darius Robinson, your outlook on the season may have altered a little. We didn't think they were going to be great, but we certainly thought that was a pretty big blow.
Make sure you download the KDUS AM 1060 app so you can take us with you on the go. And if you're registered and logged in while you are listening to The Lunch Break, Dan Patrick in the Mornings, Jim Rome, who follows us, you're listening to The Rooster on your drive home, you can listen for your chance to win 4 tickets to the Diamondbacks when they take on the Texas Rangers on Tuesday, September 2nd at Chase Field. Do you know what's special, Producer Evan, about Tuesday, September 2nd at Chase Field? Just so happens to be ASU night at Chase Field. So we've got your chance to win 4 tickets to the Diamondbacks when they take on the Texas Rangers. You can also get your tickets over at dbacks.com/SGT. And over there, they have a special event ticket pack. You receive a game ticket and co-branded D-backs and ASU hat. Again, you can get those tickets, the special event tickets, at dbacks.com/SGT. We have your chance to win 4 tickets to the game for listening on the KDUS AM 1060 app. When we come back, I believe I'm allowed to say this because I consider myself I consider myself among this group. What do the math nerds,
I'm a huge nerd,
say about the Cardinals' chances this year? We'll tell you next. It's The Lunch Break, KDUS, AM 1060.
James Out West, your desert destination for sports here in the Valley.
You've seen Shador. We've all seen him. He's, kind of everybody gravitates toward him.
He's got aura.
There we go. Thank you, as the young kids say. He's just there doing his job. He shows up early. He stays late. He's not posting it on social media to post it on social media to say, look at me. What you see is when he shows up to a neighborhood in which just got burned down, the apartment complex, and he sets up food trucks. I can't wait to see what happens for him, and I think that they have a good foundation for the future.
It's James Out West, every other Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Head coach Brian Wright and the Lumberjacks are setting a new standard in Flagstaff.
Happy with our attitude, our effort, how we've come together as a football team.
Join us Saturday. The Lumberjacks invade Arizona State to battle the Sun Devils. Our coverage begins at 6 on your home for Lumberjack football.
Gets his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Lumberjacks.
The NAU Lumberjack Sports Network from Learfield.
Prepare for the Maximum Fun Tour. A day to remember. Yellow Card. Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater. Saturday, October 25th. Special guests, The Wonder Years and Dinosaur Pile-Up. Tickets from $30. On sale now at livenation.com. A day to remember. Yellow Card. Part of the American First Credit Union Concert Series.
Turn up the action at Arizona's hottest casinos. The Diamond Rewards Card from Desert Diamond Casino is the only club where you can earn exclusive benefits like free play, dining, and so much more. Just one card unlocks all 5 dazzling locations, including the brand new Desert Diamond White Tanks. One club, 5 destinations. The Diamond Rewards Club at Desert Diamond Casino.
An enterprise of the Donna Austin Nation.
Bet with your head, not over it. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
Wendy's has a huge new drink lineup. And you know what goes great with your to-do list? A little treat. And we've got one for everything on that list. The have-to-do stuff? You need a Frosty Frappe. The want-to-do stuff? Obviously a Tangerine Twist Lemon Freeze. The stuff that's been on your list for like a year? That's going to be a Sparkling Energy. And maybe a reality check? Giving your to-do list a to-drink list? Gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, Sparkling Energy with caffeine.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. The preseason is officially behind us, but before the real action begins, here's one last reminder. Don't take any of it too seriously. We fall into the trap every year. Last season gave us plenty of proof why. Caleb Williams, supposed to light up the NFL. He didn't. Marvin Harrison Jr., labeled a Jamar Chase-level rookie, didn't crack 1,000 yards. Kyron Williams with the Rams. The buzz last summer was he might be relegated to punt return duty. Instead, he ran for over 1,400 yards. The point is simple. Preseason's about evaluation, not prophecy. Football has been away for months, so the excitement is natural. But these tune-ups are riddled with misleading storylines. Some guys look like stars against vanilla defenses. Others struggle while shaking off rust. Neither should be overblown. So before the kickoff, take a breath. Enjoy the anticipation. But the real story, it starts right now. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. If you played pickleball in regular sneakers, you know you can pay the price. They don't cut it. And Todd found this out the hard way. We have this great sponsor, Tyrell. They make the best pickleball shoes. So one day Todd is playing pickleball, and he forgot his Tyrell pickleball shoes. Well, you know what happened? He got hurt. He was playing in some fancy, different shoes that aren't meant for pickleball, and he learned a lesson. Tyrell has everything you need to keep your feet cool. They're tough. They're lightweight. They're so solid on your feet, and you're going to wear and tear on the court, and they're ready to go. Every detail is built to help you play better. Tyrell pickleball shoes. If you want to play longer, feel better, and stop sliding around in those old sneakers, go to TyrellPickleball.com. You can look like a pro. You can play like a pro. It's Tyrell pickleball shoes. You spell it Tyrol. Tyrell pickleball shoes, the best pickleball shoes, purpose-built for pickleball.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
About 12 minutes from now, what is a successful year for the Arizona State Sun Devils as their year gets underway? Just in a couple of days. Saturday, producer Evan will be in the building. Correct? You're hanging out. You'll be in the building Saturday. Big game, start of the year.
I will be in the building.
Booth, hanging out with our guy, Sean.
It'll be up there. Hopefully they take care of business. I'm doing stats, and I love doing stats.
I've done that job. It's very stressful.
It is very stressful.
You have to.
It's fast paced.
Do we want to? We can lift the curtain back, I think.
Yeah.
When you're in that role, you're hanging out with the play-by-play voice of the Sun Devils, Tim Healy. You are just giving him stats. You're also giving stats to Rapper as well. But for Tim, you're giving him field goal distances and how far the punt went, and you're constantly doing math, and you got index cards, and there's just stuff everywhere in your little section.
The punt is by far the hardest thing.
It took me, and I did stats for a couple of years. It took me probably 4 games to then have the math down to a science, and I had to create my own way to do it because the way that everybody else told me to do it, I was confusing myself.
Is get to the 50 and then add. It's almost not the way to do it.
You have to create your own way to do it.
So my way is I've been seeing where the return man stands. Right, so if he's lined up at the 32, right, that's where Now I'm gonna do the math there, and wherever he catches it, I'll take yards off or add yards on.
You got to have your own system.
Yeah.
And it's quick. In the time it took producer Evan to explain that,
It's gone.
It's gone. The returners gained 15 yards, and you got to do that math. So it's very stressful. Had a great time doing it.
Last year, it's by the way, it's not nearly as stressful as being the spotter.
No, the spotter is very difficult. I've been a spotter before as well, and that's a very tough job. Because
well, last year we had a game where it was just me and you on a team effort on spotting.
There it was. We were working together to spot players. And the other part too is it very much, your success as a spotter directly depends on what color uniforms the teams are wearing. If they are wearing uniforms where the numbers are very clearly defined, you stand a good chance. There are some jerseys that ASU wear where it is impossible to determine a 6 from an 8. And when you're dealing with offensive linemen, those numbers are just kind of blurry together.
And some
difficult.
of the players like bunch up their jersey.
Oh, and then I don't know if is that a 7? Is that a 1? I don't know.
The best jersey they wear is the maroon numbers on the yellow jersey. It's the easiest one.
Yeah, the yellow jersey really helps the numbers pop.
Yeah, it does.
And then I forget who, I think they were playing. There was a team. I remember an Oregon game where with those jerseys, good luck. Good luck figuring out the numbers. Impossible. So you'll be hanging out in the booth over the weekend. This should be fun. We'll get to that here in about 10 minutes. We'll talk some ASU football to close out the week here, or to close out the show here. I want to dive into the nerds, the math nerds. I consider myself in this group. We have a drop for this.
I'm a huge nerd.
That's what we do here on this show. We embrace the numbers.
You're a StatCast guy.
I'm a StatCast guy in baseball. Give me all the advanced analytics you can get me for fourth down conversions and EPA per play in football. I love it. Give me all the data. I want to make better, more informed decisions. So The Athletic and Austin Mock put together his model and printed out the win projections, playoff odds, and Super Bowl chances for all of the teams in the NFC. And it had the Cardinals 8th in the NFC with a projected win total of 8.7, playoff odds of 40.6, and Super Bowl odds of 2.8%. Now, before you get the pitchforks out, before you get ready to riot about a Cardinals team that is 8th and on the outside looking in, I think this is the fun exercise. I'm going to read you the 7 teams in front, producer Evan. We're going to go 7 all the way to 1. You tell me if it is a slam dunk that team deserves to be in over the Cardinals, that you think, forget about what the number is that I read to you, just how you feel about this team, that you think this team's a playoff team.
Okay.
The Commanders are 7.
Not a slam dunk. I talked about it.
8.8 wins in the model. So they think very close to where the Cardinals are at. Okay. The Rams are 6, 9.7 wins.
Especially if Stafford's not healthy, not a lock.
The Packers at 5 with 9.8 wins.
I think the Packers are a lock.
Okay, so that's 1. The Bucks, 9.8 wins in 4th.
We'll see what that division is. I think it stinks. I think they're the best team, so I think they win that division.
The Lions at 3 with 10.2.
I think they probably win that division.
I'm glad you're sitting down for this.
Even though, to be honest with you, with the Lions, who knows what it's going to look like without Ben Johnson.
The San Francisco 49ers, number 2.
Yeah, I mean, this is insane. This is
10.4 wins.
This is insane. And I know they play a joke of a schedule because they really do, but no chance. And they might win 9 games, 10.4.
Their playoff odds, according to this metric, is 73.3%. The Eagles are number 1 at 10.9 wins with playoff odds at 85.7%. So a mixed bag.
Very mixed bag.
A bunch of teams that you think, wait a second, Cardinals may be better than those teams. We did the math. We had the Cardinals grayed out as the best team in the NFC West. So we think there's at least 2 teams on this list that they're better than. According to the model, they're right there with the Commanders. The Seahawks are right behind them, by the way, at 8.6.
I think people on the Commanders, that is a really, really hard schedule. The Cardinals could compete for that last wildcard spot with them if they have the Commanders in there. It's not easy for Washington.
The Cardinals having 8.7 wins in this projection model when we think they can go 5-1 to start the year would be rough.
That second half would hurt.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Imagine a world where they go 5-1. Now, maybe you get to the 8
I'm
wins
assuming in
without
this projection model too. And it's hard to say exactly how they do it, but they probably look at that part of the schedule, that those first 6 games, and could have the Cardinals at 5-1.
Right. There are probably versions of this where they go 5-1 and they still don't make the playoffs. Now, my guess is if they're only going to win 8.7 games, we'll round up to 9. It's probably not a 5-1 start.
No.
It's probably a 4-2, 3-3 start. But we think they can start 5-1. We think 4-2 should be the bar that they need to clear. That's the minimum over these first 6 games. 4-2 is what they should be. That's halfway to this number, basically.
You get to the bye. I think we talked about it when we did like the win-loss game. 5-2 at the bye is where you need to be.
5-2 at the bye is where you need to be. Yes, we agree on that. I think 8.7 is extremely low for the Cardinals. I think they're way too high on the 49ers. I think they're way too high on the Rams. We know, right, that Stafford's missing at least a game this year. Like
I don't think that they're factoring that in.
Stafford's missing at least one game this season. And I'm not rooting for an injury. Just from a maintenance perspective, they're going to give him a game off because of the back. He's missing a game.
It's a slipped disc in his spine.
It's going to act up, and he's going to miss one game throughout the course of the season at minimum.
It's
he's missing a game.
Serious injury.
So I don't know how they get to nearly 10 wins when I already know that he's missing at least one game, and their schedule's not a cakewalk. They won that division. That's a first-place schedule. That's not easy.
It's a first-place schedule. Looking at that, the Niners being all the way up there is jarring, but I understand it. Let's look at the Rams schedule, right?
Sure.
When I say I understand it from the Rams or for the Niners side,
they have a 4th-place schedule.
It's a 4th-place schedule.
So they're going to get some wins just because they're playing a 4th-place schedule. And we would all agree they are better than a 4th-place team. Injuries derailed them last year in a big way.
So the Rams open with Houston at home.
They could lose that game.
They could certainly lose that game.
With or without Stafford, they could lose that game.
Then they're at Tennessee.
They're going to win that game.
Win that game. At Philadelphia.
They're going to lose that game.
So are we calling week 1 a win?
Call it a win.
Okay,
they're home, right?
2-1. Yep, they're home. 2-1. Home against the Colts.
That's a win.
Home against the Niners.
Let's split the Niners games. So
Okay.
let's give them the home game for the sake of this argument.
So they're 4-1.
Okay.
Okay. At Baltimore.
That's a loss.
4-2. At Jacksonville.
I'll give them a win, but that could be one that we flip.
Yep. So 5-2.
Okay.
Home against the Saints, 6-2.
That's 6-2, yeah.
Okay.
All right, hold on. Maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe I'm wrong about the Rams.
Give it a second.
Okay, the back half of the schedule is going to...
It's certainly harder.
Okay.
At San Francisco.
We're going to give them the loss because we're splitting the division.
Home
games.
against Seattle.
We'll give them a split there as well.
Okay.
So that's 7-3?
7-3.
Okay.
Home against the Bucs.
Ooh. Baker Mayfield revenge game? I'll give them that win.
LA. To me, that's a Bucs.
It's a road game for the Bucs.
It's a road game for the Bucs.
All right, you want to give them a loss? We'll see what it looks
I'll
like.
give them a loss. Just because we've given them the benefit of the doubt on Houston,
and
you have to take one of those.
We've got to find one. Okay,
Yeah.
if you want to give them that one, that's fine.
So that's 7-4.
Yeah, if we wanted to give them the loss on the road in Jacksonville, I think that's the same type of opponent as the Tampa Bay Bucs.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
fair
Just
enough.
eventually give one.
Find one. Yeah,
At Carolina.
that's a win.
That's a win.
No, don't
Watch
don't
where
do
Carolina
this.
is late in the year.
Don't do this.
At Arizona.
I'm gonna split again. I'm gonna have them go 3-3 in the division. So I'm gonna have them lose here.
Okay. So then 8-5. Detroit at home.
They lose that game.
They split at Seattle. So now you're
9-6.
9-6.
And they play
No,
Arizona.
they lose. So you were 8-5 at Arizona.
Yeah.
Right? Now you're 8-6,
Yeah.
8-7 at Atlanta.
They could win that game.
They could. So you're 9-7.
And then there's the Cardinals
10-7.
10-7. So 9.7.
I think that's also giving them wins.
And by the way, we didn't pick a game in there that Stafford didn't play in. That changes everything.
Let's be real. Like, let's say he's banged up towards the back half of the schedule. He can't play in Atlanta or he can't play in Carolina.
That changes how I feel about those games. Those games they could still win them, but they're a lot closer. The margin for error is different. So yeah, this division is not. No one's going to run away with this thing. And I think it's foolish to have the Cardinals ranked third of the teams in the division. I think they're at least the second best team. I'd argue they're the best team. We did the math on this. We think they're the best team numerically. But 8.7 wins, I think, is setting the bar too low for this Cardinals team. A 5-1 start to then only win 3 or 4 games the rest of the way would be a massive disappointment. Massive disappointment. So that's what the nerds say.
I'm a huge nerd.
That's what the math nerds with the models say for the Arizona Cardinals. 8 seed, 8.7 wins, missing the postseason. And we have always said that's the most likely outcome when you look at things. I just don't expect that to be the case. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. We've also got you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. When we come back, I will quote directly from the Sun Devil football Twitter account. Quote, the Arizona State Sun Devils play football this week. Let's talk about it next. It's the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll question. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. I am quite aware of the dangers being on the road. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. These families' lives will be changed in an instant. We fight for these families as if they were our own. We've become America's largest injury law firm by winning cases just like these. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Injured? Dial # law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Lincoln Park. From Zero World Tour 2025. Live in Phoenix. Footprint Center, Saturday, September 6th, with special guest Gene Dawson. Get tickets now at livenation.com. For more, visit lincolnpark.com.
Jan from Toyota here with live coverage of end of summer fun at Toyota's national sales event with my special guest, Eli Manning.
Thanks, Jan. Let's get into it.
Down by the lake for some fishing, we've got Eric in his Tundra. He throws his line and he's going long.
Heck of a team effort there. That Tundra got him exactly where he needed to be.
Next up, here's Kyle, off-roading behind the wheel of a 4Runner.
Whoa, that 4Runner's got some serious moves on the field.
There's excitement in the stadium parking lot with the Davis family tailgating in their new Sequoia.
All eyes are on Dad manning the grill. He grabs some buns from the cargo area of the Sequoia and flips. And look at that. What a way to close this one out.
Sure was, Eli. Until next time, go Toyota!
See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Event ends September 2nd. Toyota, let's go places.
Stay at the heart of it all with a special Cliff Castle room rate starting at just $99 with no resort fees. Less fees mean more ways to choose your next adventure at the gateway to the region's best gaming, entertainment, and natural wonders. And expect service from the heart as well. We think you'll love your stay with us and all the value we provide, starting at just $99 with no added fees. Cliff Castle Casino Hotel, at the heart of it all. Valid Sunday through Thursday. Some restrictions apply. An enterprise of the Yavapai Apache Nation.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Join in on the Sports Zoo on your ride home from work with Dave Rooster Bierstein. Join Rooster as he lays down what's happening around sports and makes it clear what's on his mind.
Oh, my.
Catch the day's craziest stories and some of the latest numbers from the sports books across the valley. The Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a wild option.
Weekdays 5 to 6 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Leftovers coming up 8 minutes from now. We'll wrap up today's edition of the show. I want to start the week 1 in college football. ASU gets their season underway. this Saturday against NAU. What defines success this year for Arizona State? A massive overperformance last year. Predicted before the year to finish last in the Big 12. They said, thanks, but no thanks. We're going to go win the Big 12. We're going to represent the conference in the college football playoff. And we're going to represent the conference so well that we almost one defensive play away from beating Texas. Sam Leavitt on a national stage showed why he is a Heisman candidate, Heisman favorite, one of on a short list going into this season. A coach that deserves all the praise that he gets. A coach, a quarterback, a university, a program that has had the spotlight thrusted upon them because of the way that they played last season. Everybody in college football is talking about Arizona State. You can't talk about the Big 12 without talking about Arizona State. You can't talk about the college football playoff without talking about Arizona State. They're number 11 in the AP poll to start the college football season. The highest ranked team inside the Big 12. So bottle all of that up, package it, and ask yourself, what defines success? What is the proper follow-up to everything that I just mentioned? What defines this program being able to say, we as a program followed up that great year last year and met the mark? We showed that we are not a one-hit wonder. We are not just a flash-in-the-pan team that has one good year and then goes back to being irrelevant. This is not UCF with Scott Frost. This isn't Cincinnati with Luke Fickell. Pick another team that appeared out of thin air and had a brief period of success and then immediately has receded to the background. ASU needs to prove that they aren't that because they play in a big conference, because they play in a conference that actually gets respect, at least to a certain level, in the college football playoff conversation, that they have staying power. What type of success proves that they have the staying power? That, to me, is the question before the season begins. Not will Sam Leavitt win a Heisman, not how do they replace Cam Scatterbo. What does this program need to accomplish to say we are here to stay?
You need to be in the conversation. That's what it is. I don't know if it's a certain number of wins. I don't know if it's playing for the conference championship game, even though I think it is. At the end of the year, can you say you are in the conversation as one of the 12 best teams, or in our case, one of the 25 best teams? Be ranked wire to wire. That's how you stay relevant.
I would agree. Staying inside the top 25, always being talked about when we get to the part of the year when we clear off our Tuesdays for the college football playoff reveal show. What is it, Tuesday, Wednesday?
Tuesday nights.
It's either Tuesday night or Wednesday night, whenever that day is, and those start getting revealed. ASU is in the conversation. They're talked about when those reveal shows happen. A team that at the end of the year is in the mix the last week of the season to play in the Big 12 championship game. For me, what would slam the door shut, make it a non-negotiable that they proved it, playing in another Big 12 championship game. Playing in that game, to me, showed you were not a one-hit wonder. You are not some Cinderella story. You've now got a coach. You've got a quarterback. You have a program that didn't get all caught up in the noise, didn't get caught up in their own hype, didn't believe that they were better. They went out there and did it. They didn't just rest on what they did a year ago. They forgot about it, and they doubled down and played even better this upcoming season. So for me, you play in the Big 12 championship game, I consider that success. To me, you're in the conversation the last week of the season, you win, and then a bunch of things happen, and you're in the Big 12 championship. Your game matters the final week of the regular season. You've done your job. You win 6 or 7 games, or you win 8 games, and you're not in the mix at the end of the year. That's not a follow-up. That's a small step backwards. It's not going to end things, but it is not the step forward that I think this program has the ability to take. You've got a quarterback on your team right now that can pole vault you into a new chapter, a new era of ASU football. You have a coach that can pole vault you into being one of the top teams in college football. Not the elite of the elites, although they are one of 5 teams projected to favored to win every game this season.
Here's the interesting conversation. I always say this when you look at college football. Talk about Clemson. 20 years ago, what was Clemson?
Fair enough.
And Deshaun Watson put them in that conversation.
They had the coach and the quarterback at the same time that put them on the map. And then it was Deshaun, it was Trevor Lawrence, and they had that run that made them.
And it builds, right? And now every year they're in the conversation in the ACC.
And that's why it's not about going to the college football playoff and winning a championship, although that'd be great. I'd love that. We would celebrate that very strongly here on the program. We would be very much in favor of that. If you are competing for your conference championship every single year, you have a chance. That's what Kenny and Sam and this program need to do. They need to capitalize on this window. I don't know how long Sam's going to be here. I don't know if Sam's going to be here much longer after this season. You have to capitalize on these years the way your example, Clemson, capitalized on Deshaun Watson when he was in college, Trevor Lawrence when he was there, and they made the most of having 2 really good college quarterbacks. Now, it's a little bit different, but what Florida did capitalizing when they had Tim Tebow, right? Maximizing that window, that gives you a nice runway of being extremely relevant. ASU is trying to do that same thing. And I don't know if a quarterback as talented as Sam Leavitt is going to walk through that door. There's no guarantees about that. The only guarantee I have is Sam Leavitt is on this team right now. Sam Leavitt was on the team last year that did all of this. So the follow-up has to come this year because that's going to make somebody else want to walk through that door and follow in the footsteps of Sam Leavitt. But you have to put together the season. You have to be a team that's competing for a conference championship. To me, that's the bar. End of the year, be in the mix. That is success.
You have to be in the mix. I used Clemson. Look at them. They've had steps back over the last few years. Like they've had years with DJU where it didn't really work out, but people consistently talk about them and they still get recruits because of who was there before. If you take another step forward with this quarterback, you have the chance to, for the next 10 to 15 years, put this school on the map as a hotbed for the Big 12 and college football competition in the playoffs.
You follow up winning the conference championship last year. And there's also the extra layer to this that they did it in their first year in the conference, right? They did it first time through, right? First year, second year. This is year 2, right?
This is their second year in the conference.
Right. So last year, first year in the conference, boom, we win the conference championship. Now in year 2, if you go back to the conference championship or you're in the mix at the end of the season, you've now set the bar. In this new conference, we're not to be messed with. In this new conference, we're a team that you have to go through if you want to play at the end of the season to hoist the Big 12 trophy. To me, getting to that point in the last week of the season and or playing in the conference championship, you now, in my mind, reset the expectations every year. Whereas last year, there were no expectations. Hey, Kenny, figure it out. Get this program going in the right direction. Now, everybody's kind of flirting with this idea of, are the expectations now to be a college football playoff team? You cement those expectations this year if you go back to the Big 12 championship. So that's where the bar is. That's what success would be for me. End of the year, being in the mix, playing in the conference championship, and I'll even give you one small step backwards. Last week of the season, if you're playing for a chance to play in the Big 12 championship game, then I think you have done what you needed to do to put this program on the map or to continue their place on the map. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. We've got one more before we are out of here and hand things off to Jim Rome at the top of the hour. It is all the stories that we didn't get to throughout the course of the program. We call them the leftovers, and perhaps the Cardinals' dream of a wide receiver 2 isn't dead just yet. I'll tell you what I mean next. The lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app. Win a brand new Toyota Tacoma when you support Arizona women. That's right. When you enter Fresh Start's Toyota raffle, your ticket purchase provides women access to comprehensive resources on the path to success and gives you a chance to take home a Tacoma SR5 double cab. Thanks to Valley Toyota dealers, all proceeds go directly to helping the women Fresh Start serves. Enter until November 21st. One ticket is $100, 3 for $250. Limited to 1,500 entries. Open to Arizona residents 21 and over. Visit freshstartwomen.org/Toyota raffle.
Judas Priest. And Alice Cooper.
No more Mr. Nice Guy.
The Metal Gods. Judas Priest. The godfather of shock rock, Alice Cooper. October 22nd, Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater with special guest, Corrosion of Conformity. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Presented by 100.7 KSLX, part of the America First Credit Union Concert Series.
At Fry's Pharmacy, we make it easy to get flu, COVID, and RSV vaccines. They're available at no cost to you with most insurance plans. No appointment needed. And we're open weekdays, weeknights, and weekends. So come and visit us when it's most convenient for you. Fry's, a world of care is in store. Vaccines subject to availability. No cost to you with most insurance plans. Check with your plan for eligibility. Restrictions and exclusions may apply. See site for details.
Arizona, you work hard all year. This Labor Day, let Tim Hovig's Santan Ford work for you. Drive a brand new Ford with sign and drive leases from just $319 a month. Zero down. Just sign and go. Prefer to buy? Get 0% financing, zero down, and no payments for 90 days, plus huge markdowns on every Ford in stock. The Labor Day sales event is on now at Tim Hovig's Santan Ford, Santan 202 in Val Vista and Gilbert, or shop online anytime at santanford.com. Restrictions may apply. Not everyone will qualify. See Santan Ford for details.
James Out West, your desert destination for sports here in the Valley.
You've seen Shador. We've all seen him. He's, kind of everybody gravitates toward him.
He's got aura.
There we go. Thank you, as the young kids say. He's just there doing his job. He shows up early. He stays late. He's not posting it on social media to post it on social media to say, look at me. What you see is when he shows up to a neighborhood in which just got burned down, the apartment complex, and he sets up food trucks. I can't wait to see what happens for him, and I think that they have a good foundation for the future.
It's James Out West, every other Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m., right here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Back here on the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060. It's the leftovers, all the stories we didn't get to throughout the course of the program. Producer Evan, I have one that I'd like to start with. Did you see the news coming out of Vegas today?
I was going to say, I think, based on how you teased it at the last segment, I think we have the same top story here.
Jacoby Myers recently meeting with the Raiders and requested to be traded. Myers and the team tried to negotiate a new contract, couldn't come to terms. So he has requested a trade. The team, citing his value, said that they have no plans to do so. So it doesn't feel like anything is going to come of this as of now, but
that door's not closed.
I just keep holding on to this small bit of hope that the Cardinals get a wide receiver to pair with Marvin Harrison Jr. I can't quit it. I can't quit this idea that perhaps maybe at the trade deadline, if they're playing really well, they try to get somebody from a team that's not in it. Because I just think that's the one big thing that's missing.
That is probably the one big thing that is missing.
I just wish they would have somebody better in that spot. Jacoby Myers might be that guy.
He might be.
But it doesn't look
Jacoby
like
Myers not a bad player.
He had a 1,000-yard season last year, if I remember correctly. I think so. I was reading a tweet, and I was scrolling very quickly, and I don't know if I quoted it correctly. Let me scroll back and see if I can find it. But I think he had
The Raiders are going to be an interesting team this year. You're way lower on them.
And by interesting, you mean bad, right?
I think they're going to be okay.
Well, they're going to be fine. They're going to win 5 games.
No.
Pull up their schedule.
They'll win 7 games.
No, let's do the thing. Pull up their schedule.
Okay.
By the way, Jacoby Myers did have 1,000 yards last season, had 0 drops on 126 targets, had 87 catches, only 28 years old.
Yeah.
So
perfect number 2.
I mean, you want to talk about somebody that would be a wide receiver 2.
Raiders could start the year 3-1.
I'm sure I'm going to find a way for them to be 1-3. But
at New England.
They are going to lose that game.
No way.
They're going to go to New England.
And win.
And they're going to lose to Mike Vrabel in his first game in New England. Absolutely not happening.
Home against the Chargers. That's a win.
They will not beat the Chargers now. So they're 0-2. That's nice, though.
They're going to be – the Chargers stink.
They're 0-2.
At Commanders.
They're 0-3. They're 0-3 to start the year.
I was giving that loss. They're just not. Home against the Bears.
They'll beat the Bears at home. They're 1-3. See, I told you I'd get there.
Okay. At Colts.
They're beating the Colts 2-3.
Home against the Titans.
They'll beat the Titans at home 3-3.
Yep. At Chiefs.
They're not winning in Kansas City. So
home against the Jags.
They lose that game 3-5.
At Denver.
They lose that game 3-6.
Home against the Cowboys.
They lose that game 3-7.
The Cowboys are going to stink. I just want to let you know that.
The Cowboys still got to win games. That's one of the games they'll win 3-7.
Browns at home.
They'll win that game 4-7.
I mean, by the way, you have given them no benefit of the doubt game.
I'll give them one. I'll find one.
You have at Chargers.
They won't win that game 3-8.
They're splitting with the Chargers. Chargers. Home against Denver.
I'll give them that game.
Okay.
There you go. There's the one that you're looking for.
At Philadelphia.
They are not winning that game. They are 5-9.
Yes. At Houston.
That could be one to give them, but I won't for right now. 5-10.
Home against the Giants.
They're winning that game.
Yep. Home against the Chiefs in Week 8.
They're 6-11. That feels incredibly fair for what the Raiders are going to be this year.
7-10. Chiefs might not play anybody. The Chiefs lost by like 70 last year at the last week of the year. Also, you said let's pull up their schedule. They have the Giants at home, the Browns at home, the Cowboys at home, the Jags, the Titans at home. You got to go to the Colts. You get to play the Bears at home, at New England. That is an easy schedule.
I almost want to put it on the board.
I love their over 6.5. I already took it.
We just did the arithmetic, and I got to 6, potentially 7. So I think the number is set perfectly without knowing the number.
Yeah, but if they win in New England in Week 1, you're screwed.
I wouldn't say that. I would say it's not a great start for me.
You gave. Yeah, I think that's a season-long competition we have on the Raiders 6.5.
I mean, you can listen to Raiders home games here on KDUS AM 1060.
Which you can.
So you'll get a chance to hear whether or not this bet will pay off. And I like a lot of their team, right? I like Geno Smith. I find myself rooting for Geno Smith. I like Brock Bowers. I like Max Crosby. They're not a terrible football team. I just don't see them winning a ton of games.
And Ashton Genty.
And I like Pete Carroll. I just don't. My reasoning for being against the Raiders this year is I don't think their coaching hire and their quarterback decision match with where the rest of their roster is at. I don't
know if I necessarily disagree with that, but I just don't think that they're as bad as you think they are.
We'll see.
And we'll see, Brock Bowers, when they kick off on next Sunday, he's the best tight end in football.
Yeah, he's one of them.
He is one. He's one. There's not a player at his position I would take over him.
You could certainly make the case.
Speaking of receivers not signing deals,
now
a receiver did sign a deal.
Wait a second. John is a Raiders diehard, and he says 3 wins tops. So what do you want to do with that information? I think that's too. He's too close to it.
He's too close to it.
I think he just assumes the worst, and so he's setting himself. He's doing the thing. Expectations minus reality equals disappointment.
I haven't talked to Sean on his feeling on the Raiders.
Oh, you want to talk to the other Raider fan that we know?
The other Raider fan we know.
Yeah, but
I think he's probably same boat as John.
He's the other end of the coin. He thinks they win every game. I've done this bit with him. He thinks they win every game. He gives them wins that they have no business winning. Now, if you asked him in a secret moment, he would want them to lose every game because he wants Archie Manning.
Yes, he wants a Manning.
He does not want them to win. But if you asked him to guess wins and losses, he'll give them way more wins than they deserve. And we spent the entire leftovers talking about one story.
Yeah. I will tell you.
Terry McLaurin signed an extension.
Yeah. Cal Raleigh passed Salvador Perez for most home runs by a catcher in a season.
55, maybe?
I think that's what we're on pace for. I would have to do the math.
60, it would take a little bit. Would take a bit of a hot streak. But yeah, he's playing really well. Probably is going to win himself the AL MVP. Our AL MVP, Cal Raleigh. That's going to do it for us. Monday edition in the books. Producer Evan, thank you for all that you do. Jim Rome, he's coming up next. Everybody, have a great rest of your Monday. We'll talk to you tomorrow. See you.
AM 1060 KDUS